and you'll be able to ask questions, which we'll do at the end. So what I'd like to do now is if everyone gets to stand up and give our guest speaker a very warm welcome. He's had 2 exits in Silicon Valley. Let's welcome Bardia Housman. Hey man, how you doing?
Hi guys.
Now you don't do a lot of these things, do you? Right? Just sort of really twist your arm to come along today.
Yeah. I mean, I think just more of an introverted geek.
Yeah.
So bear with me. But I mean, as long as it's casual and we have fun, it's fine.
Cool. We got a couple of old guys on the stage tonight, mate. But I must say you're looking very well. I have to get the brand of moisturiser you're using. We go back a long way. We met in late 90s and that sort of first .com boom, a really exciting time. But I want to just step back a little bit before then. How did you get involved with computers? And were you always an entrepreneur? Did you always feel like that? Just tell us about your childhood and you growing up and the entrepreneurial spirit.
I think I mean, back in in the 80s when computers were coming out, I always wanted one, and my first computer was an Amiga 1000. I was always fiddling, and so I think I always had a bit of a technical knack, and I think entrepreneurialism probably ran in the family somewhat. But my main foray into the whole technology space was I ran a really large bulletin board system in Sydney, a multi-node bulletin board system. So this is pre-internet days where you dial up and connect and download wares or chat or write messages. So that was kind of how it all started, and then so that transcended into the whole.
So when the internet sort of took off, you were kind of ready to go.
Yeah, the information superhighway, as that was called back then.
Cool. Where did you go to school? Were you from Sydney originally?
Yeah, I went to Sydney in North Ryde. Cool. Yeah. So.
Fantastic. And did you study a degree? Was university your thing?
I did study a degree. But university wasn't my thing. I think. It was funny, towards the end of I swapped degrees a few times. I started with a Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering at Sydney Uni, and I finished it with a Bachelor of, I finished with a University of Technology, a Bachelor of Business. And it was probably more me. I'm probably deep down more of a business guy, although I'm a programmer. So that kind of, but as I was finishing at University of Technology is when my first startup, start.com.au, was just really growing very quickly. So that's kind of where the interest in university wasn't really, it wasn't there. Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember, you rang me just not long after the start, when you started Start. So Start was an online free email service. You rang me up and you said, because I may or may not have sold some domain names, such as like AOL.com.au and GeoCities and a couple of things. I may or may not have used it to fund my companies. And, they call it cyber squatting, I don't know why. It's more opportunistic. You rang me up and you said, I've got a domain name I want to talk to you about. And I went, what is it? You went, I don't really want to say what the name is. And I said, well, you're going to have to tell me, otherwise this conversation's not going to be very long. And you said, it's hotmail.com.au. Right. And I said, you've got my attention. But you said, no, I've got an email service and we're just trying to figure out what to do. And you said, I'll give you these legal letters from Microsoft, what do I do? And I remember just said, rip the letters up. Don't worry about the legal letters, just rip them up. But tell me about how Start got started.
Yeah, gee, that's, I haven't talked to many people about that story.
I probably should have cleared it before.
It's all good.
The lawyers will be around in the morning.
Yeah. Well, it's actually funny. So we registered Hotmail.com as a defensive strategy, and probably within a couple of months of starting Start.com.au, we got a letter from Microsoft. And interestingly, we got sued not for the domain, but for the fact that Start was a trademark on the Windows 95 Start Me Up campaign. And so what happened was that went on for a while. And look, we're 2 kids. At that stage, it was 22, and there was no money in, so just throw that letter away, and then you get the next letter at some point. You got to take it seriously. And the way we settled that is we just gave them back the Hotmail.com domain. So we just didn't want them to launch Hotmail.com.au domain. We just didn't want them to launch that business here, and that's what it was. It pointed to some other site, and it was whatever. It's like, well, if you want this, we're going to delay the essential business. And really, I'm not going to give credit to that being the reason for our success. I'm sure it had some, but the Australian consumer back then was looking for a .com.au free email address, and there was no one providing that. So it was great timing.
Yeah, so talking about the growth of Start, I mean, I know at one stage it was Australia's most trafficked website. So you built a whole portal around it. So what was the growth of that like? Because it all happened pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it grew very quickly. It was a few hundred a day, and then it was a few hundred more, and then it was a few thousand a day. I'd come in every morning, jump on the SQL server, and just do a count of new users from the night before, and it blew up. I mean, it literally blew up as. We used to have my office was in Artarmon back then. We used to have a ISDN line coming to the office, and we had all these shitty IBM servers that used to run the service, and then we got a second 64K ISDN, and then we went to a DDS Fastway, I don't know anything about rows and stuff, and a few more servers, and just to keep up. And the business model there was to the main business model was to sell it, white label it, and sell it to News Corp and Saturday Music and Look Smart, and that's how we did the deal with Look Smart. So it was a really interesting time because the service would go down all the time. There'd be times we'd lose people's inboxes, but that was just all part of the game, and we were just learning very quickly.
So how long had Start been running before Look Smart approached you to acquire it?
So, we started business in '97. We were mucking around. We launched the business March 1998, free email. And it was around mid-99 that we started to talk to David Gold, who, and the deal was to white label technology for them. And LookSmart, they were running a very successful search engine. And every company back then was looking to complement their portal, their web presence with some sort of free email, because they felt free email was very sticky, where anything else wasn't as sticky. And sort of if we do talk about sort of my exit in the US with Adobe, it's all about being on the radar. That's how we got on the radar, and the conversation, he liked us, and that allowed him to monitor our growth, and then he tells his bosses in San Francisco that, hey, you got to buy this company, and that's how that happened. We sold in December '99.
Yeah, cool. So a lot of people may or may not know Look Smart. Evan Thornley and was it Hosking? Martin Hosking founded out of Melbourne. Ended up being a NASDAQ listed company. They basically provided like a white label version of Yahoo, like a web directory and search engine. But yeah, very successful company, that sort of first .com boom. So did you make some cash out of that first exit? How did that all work out?
I was just talking to someone, Mike, before. So, lots of learning around exits. But we sold that business for shares. We sold it for quite a bit of money. We sold it, I think, for around 16 million plus some bonuses and stuff on top of that. But it was all shares, and it was all in escrow. And by the time we could sell the shares, the .com crash had happened. So I only made a couple of $100,000 for that.
What was the share price when you exit?
I think we got the shares around $35. I think we sold them for around my first tranche. I think the first tranche had any value. Second and third tranche literally had no value. I sold the first tranche about $3, and the second and third tranche I think they were like sub 30 cents.
Yeah, right. So it did change that. So what did you do after that? Did you instantly want to say, I think I can do this again and create another business? What was your thinking, and what did you do?
Yeah, I did. I did, and that was a big mistake, a big learning lesson. But I think I got a really big head, and I thought I could do it again and do it better and do it much bigger. So I started a company in the consumer space initially, and then when we had the .com crash, I pivoted to a B2B sort of space, and I created this knowledge management space that I wanted to sell to big law firms in Sydney. It didn't work. After 2 years, I built a team, and a couple $100,000 I'd made, I put into that company, and we spent 2 years building this product. I couldn't get one demo, I couldn't get one free installation, I couldn't sell one copy, And so it was a very difficult time because it kind of brought me back to reality and made me rethink what I was doing wrong and really what I needed to do better. And I think that's kind of set me up for my next startup and effectively doing it better.
Cool. And from there, did you just shut that one down, or did you pivot to something else? What was the next step?
Yeah, no, I shut it down. I'm a big believer of never say die, and it really tested me what that meant, because when do you say die? Because you should always say never say die. And but I think by the end of 2003, that was 2002, 2003, I was very demoralised. I knew. I think if you stop and you think, you've been doing that so many nights, so many months, I just knew that there was no way I was going to win. And what I realised actually with that business is I actually hated dealing with old people in suits back then. The old guy in the suit now, but I didn't like selling to the enterprise. I didn't like to go and do lunches, and I like doing lunches now, but back then I didn't like, and I couldn't relate. There's a 55-year-old CIO of a law firm, and here is a 28-year-old dude who doesn't dress properly. There's a disconnect, and I think you've got to be aware of every touch point you have in business, whether it's your brand or who you are. And so one of my takeaways was, one, not to take myself very seriously, to sell to someone I really like selling to. My next company was selling to web designers, but people like myself, they say yes or no very quickly. So there was a lot of those lessons. One of the other lessons was to hire salespeople early rather than build a technology company. I hate technology companies. I like sales and marketing companies with the deep technology running through it. So there's some of the learnings.
Cool. So the next business then was Business Catalyst.
Correct.
So tell us, how did that idea come about, and how did you get it up and going?
Yeah. So it was really interesting. I was about to shut my knowledge management company. I get a call from my next business partner. I've never met this guy, at Broadway. And this guy rings me and says, I love what you're doing with the knowledge management stuff, I want to resell it. That was the first person who said that to me in 2 years. And this guy's just a douchebag. He's got no clue. And he said, I wanted to meet you. I said, you came in, my office were in Wilson's Point. We met, and there was we met a few times, and there was some chemistry, and he's a great guy, and I told him that actually, hey dude, my business sucks. But he had about 10 grand a month revenue selling some stuff to councils in Sydney, and I needed revenue to do more. And I said, hey, I've got a lot of technology, you've got the revenue, let's just muck around. And that's how business kind of started. It was a lot of the stuff, so it was, I guess, a micro pivot from what I was doing, but it was a brand new business and a new business partner, and the rest is, yeah.
So the first I'd heard of Business Catalyst was when you had gone over to the US. So how did that decision come about, and when did you know it was the right time?
Yeah. So having done the .com one stuff, I always wanted to go to Silicon Valley. I mean, that was deep down. That was always part of my game plan. And so when the crash happened, and that wasn't going to be possible, I said to myself, if that opportunity ever came up again, I'd just take it with the heart, instantly. And with Business Catalyst, interestingly, it took many years to figure out the go-to-market strategy. We just couldn't sell. It was, again, for 3 years, it was a complete utter failure. First year we sold 10 copies, and next year we sold 50 copies, next year we sold 100 copies. We needed to sell thousands of copies. But eventually, when we figured that out, and it started to scale, we were getting a lot of customers from the US, and they were saying, hey, there's latency in the service, there is support is taking an extra day, and that's my cue. And I jumped online, registered an LLC for myself, and I went to the US Embassy, and I said, this company wants to hire me as a CEO, and I got a visa like that. And I was in the US, literally within a few weeks.
So just quickly describe what Business Catalyst is for people.
So Business Catalyst, most people would be familiar with CMS systems for building websites. We had a slightly different take on it. Most people think of a website as a collection of web pages. And what we said is actually, well, let's think about a website as a CRM at its core. And there's a lot of CRM systems out there, but no one ever goes, thinks about a CMS for a small business with a CRM at its core. And when you have a website that's selling, or people subscribing to a newsletter, or commenting on a blog, or writing in a forum, or whatever, that's all populating the CRM. And sort of we built the smarts around the CRM. So that was kind of the vision. And then from there we built a all-in-one sales and marketing sort of system for small businesses. Really the clever thing about Business Catayst was the go-to-market strategy, which we only sold through web designers. So we didn't sell direct, and we mastered that. And to master that, one of the technology platforms we built an extension for was Adobe Dreamweaver. And so we didn't want people to be learning a new proprietary system. People don't want to learn new proprietary systems, they want to stick to existing workflows. So we said, hey, you can use Dreamweaver and do everything that you're doing and connect to this SaaS hosted system. This is back in 2004, 5, 6. We're one of the first. We started at the same time, Shopify and Squarespace, all those guys started. And that was kind of novel and interesting, and it worked. And that's what was interesting.
Now, obviously you got closer and closer to Adobe. I remember we caught up in San Francisco one time, and I said, how did you get Adobe to buy your company? And you said, I just got closer to them. You just kept getting closer and closer. That by the end, it sort of, I think you said to me, it just made sense for them to do it. So how did that all start? How did you reach out to Adobe, and how did it end up in a sale?
Yeah, a lot of people who are going to America, generally when people hit me up, it's because they're going to America and they want to get some American insights. And one of the best ways, so one of the things is, how do I meet people there? But the best way to meet any of these big companies, and it's a very easy way, is to hit their product managers up. Every product at Microsoft and Google has a product manager, and they're first of all, they're not super senior, and second of all, is they're very outwardly focused. So they're interested in talking to people. So that's what I did. And the goal wasn't, 2008 when I went to the US, wasn't to sell my company. I was really trying to build, we're all pursuing the $1 billion dream. That was the plan. But I hit up the product manager. She saw the product and asked a bunch of questions. She asked me to come in. I did a presentation to the exec team in the creative suite. There's lots of different departments at Adobe. From there, come in, do a presentation to another team, which Corp Dev was in, and I was pushing for distribution. I was pushing for my plugin to be shipped with Dreamweaver as just in the box, and which they laughed at. But eventually they said, look, we're not going to partner with you, but we'd like to buy the company.
Wow.
And that happened within 6 months of landing in the US.
Right. And you had to spend, how long did you have to spend then to stay with the company before you could...
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I was never going to sell my company for shares again. So, just because I'd been through that. So I didn't really need to stay. There was some lockup, it was very minor. The deal was that I'd stay for 3 years, and I stayed for 2 years. And I left for good reasons. I have great relationships there. But ultimately, when I sold my company at 25 first time, and I lacked a lot of maturity. You need to be mature to go from being an entrepreneur one day to being employed the next day. It just works differently. And I probably didn't have that maturity back then. When I sold my company to Adobe, I was 35, exactly 10 years. I had a big talk to myself. It's like, do I have the right level of maturity? Can I be honest to myself? Can I commit myself to these guys? So I did that for 2 years. And I'm very proud of myself, obviously, but I couldn't do 3 years. It really did my head in.
Cool. And so your decision after that period had passed to come back to Australia. Did you want to stay in the US, or was it time to come home? Talk to me about that decision.
Yeah, look, I lived there for 7. I moved there with my wife. We came back with 3 kids. I'm always heartbroken about this decision. I think we both always wanted to come back, and we both grew up in Australia, and this is where home is. But I get there a lot, and I miss it. And I miss it more that I'm here. But there's so many things I hate about San Francisco as well. It's it's a love-hate relationship. It really is. But you know, I've got some businesses there, so I go to so.
Well, my nickname for San Francisco is Freaks and Geeks, because you see both very quickly next to each other. What are the bits you miss about San Francisco?
I call them zombies, seriously. What do I miss? I miss my friends, but I miss them because of who they are and what they're trying to do. It's so I miss that part of it. You know, I mean, the technology side of San Francisco, when you've lived there a long time, is quite exhausting as well. I was done with this sort of stuff. I was done with talking about the next startup or you know, some of that's tiring. But I think at the same time, deep down, that's my DNA. So, you know, maybe I should have just taken breaks more regularly. But I miss that. I miss that energy. I miss the ecosystem. I miss the landscape. I miss business opportunities. But yeah, no regrets about coming back. Yeah.
Cool. I want to talk a little bit about Aussies going to the US. I remember I came to visit you at Startup HQ, and I brought the Vino Mofo guys over there, and that was a pretty comfy couch for Aussies to kind of turn up to. So there was, you know, there was a lot of Australians in that place. You know, and then I spoke to some Americans and saying, "Well, have you heard of, you know, Startup House or Startup HQ?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, the Aussies." And I think you're part of the Aussie mafia with that group. Do you think that's an important stepping stone for Aussies getting into San Francisco, getting there and meeting the other Aussies, or should they just throw themselves in the deep end and head down to Rocket Space or Galvanize and do that? What do you think about that?
That's a really good question. You know, when I went to the US in the beginning of 2008, I knew nobody. It was a black box, and I needed a stepping stone. So I went to what was it called? It was called. I don't know where it was called. It was a unconference at UTS. In the one day, I met Tim McAvoy, Mike Cannon-Brooks, and I met Marty Wells. I don't know if you know Marty Wells.
No.
So all three of them lived in the US, and I said, "Hey, I'm coming to the US. I'm moving." And it was just Mike wasn't living there. The other two were there at the time. It was great to know people. So I think it just made it more comfortable. I mean, ultimately, as you get established, your friends or your network will be more spread out. And from a working environment, it's probably better not to be in Startup House or Startup HQ. I mean, you should be in Rocket Space, you should be in WeWork. Yeah. But yeah, it made my landing much more easier. You know, I landed there, I didn't know anybody, and I knew those guys, and that was kind of a great starting point. I could go to have a beer with someone. I could ask them how to navigate my way around the city. And as that moves on, that network grows. So I don't think it's a big deal to land at Startup House. I mean, you've got to be comfortable with the sleeping arrangement there, but
so Startup House is like a dorm house, so it's co-working downstairs and like bunk beds upstairs. So it's pretty. It's not the nicest part of Sonos, but it's cheap, right? And if you want to land there and work, and you're there just to work, then that's now I might just throw open questions from the audience, but I'm just going to start with one from me, which is, what do you think is the biggest mistake that Australians make when they jump on a plane and head to San Francisco?
A couple of things. First of all, the whole thing about San Francisco is you've got to decide how it fits into your game plan. And that doesn't mean just jumping on the plane. Like for us, it was very organic. And so it's important to recognize what that is and play that well. But I think the next thing is, again, I get hit up a lot about people going to San Francisco. It's how I want to meet this person, I want to meet this person. It's just doing that pre-work. I think putting in the effort and really kind of, there was a time I finished with Adobe and I wanted to start a travel startup. And there was a guy who was really big in the travel industry. And the way I connected with this guy was I did some direct messages to him on Twitter. I hustled my way and whatever. So I just think coming to San Francisco with a plan and doing a lot of sort of pre-work so you get there and hit the ground running and meet some great people and get shit done and really sort of answer some questions that you might have is important.
Yeah, it's funny, I get hit up a lot for contacts in San Francisco as well, but it's usually after they've already landed there, and I'm like, dude, like, give me some warning, you know, you can't just walk down the street and randomly take people. I mean, you can, but they're not going to be people necessarily that you want to talk to. So, so the next question is from Rain, who's down the front there. It says, Bardia, you started 3 companies and sold 2. Can I work for you in the next company? And if so, what sort of skill sets are you looking for?
Yeah, well, I think I'll be working for Rain for the next company. He's the big wig guy who's that you want to back.
But it's still in your blood, right? Would you do it again?
Yeah, maybe. I think that, you've read about this 10,000 hours thing with Malcolm Gladwell. I was very lucky after I did the startup thing for about 15 years. I bought a bunch of real estate in San Francisco just because of whatever. And I did my 10,000 hours there, and I think I got really good at that. I'm ready to do 10,000 hours somewhere else.
Yeah, cool.
That's where I'm at. I think if I buy tomorrow, I just want to say I did 10,000 hours in something else.
Yeah,
It's kind of, so Rain, I won't be working for you. I'll be an advisor.
Cool. This next question is about the never say die comment. Because I think it's a really interesting thing with startups. How long do you keep flogging it for, and how do you know when it's time to close? And some people say, if you're asking that question, maybe it is time to close. But you need to have obviously a certain amount of perseverance to be an entrepreneur. How did you figure out when was that right time to shut that business? Because you put a lot of money in there. And what do you think startups? What's your advice to startups who are in that position?
Never say die.
Never say die.
Never say die. Absolutely, never say die. I mean, you just can't. You will win the day after you said die. That was where the post was. It's important to have that mindset. I think if you're grounded and you can be honest with yourself, you'll know when it's time to shut it down. But if you're wondering when to shut it down, it's not the time to shut it down. This is a really hard game, and it goes on forever, and it's full of up and downs. And it actually brings me to another point, which is it's important to have a co-founder. I was been so lucky with every one of my businesses to have great co-founders, and I just couldn't have done it without them. And it's that's how you de-risk the process a little bit. But I think you've got to go with the never say die until you literally can't pick yourself up from the ground.
Interesting. So you've started 2 companies, the 2 successful ones, where it's sort of both, if you like, phases of a boom. Comparing it to now, like when you started a company in 2004, if you had a good idea, there's a chance you were the only one doing it on the planet. If you start a company in 2017, there's going to be about 8 to 10 teams somewhere around the planet working on that problem. Do you think it's easier now or then to start a company?
I don't know. Does that philosophy apply for the last 100 years? I mean, I'm not sure. Certainly, I think we're one of the first. Well, when we started a SaaS-based B2B content management CRM system. I mean, look, Salesforce was around, but we weren't in that space. There were many other people doing the same thing, and I used to say to my team, there's 5,000 other people. There was 5,000 free CMSs, and there was 5,000 open source CMSs, and there was 5,000 paid proprietary CMS systems. It was an execution play for us. We learned how to execute better. We learned every day we were trying to learn something new. And there were times we weren't learning and we were mis-executing and we really had to pull ourselves up. So I think it's always an execution game. I mean, you've got to find the angle, you've got to find the problem. It's got to be a big enough opportunity, but really what differentiates success and failure is execution. And there's a bit of perseverance and grit and all of that, but how much smarter are you at solving this problem on a daily basis than somebody else?
Well, no, I don't know how technically you describe yourself as, but you're technical enough, obviously. What do you think of teams that are doing a tech startup now where there's no technical co-founder?
Well, you see that a lot more, right? I was talking to somebody before. I think it's important for someone to be so I am a programmer, and I was a programmer. The iteration loop that's required to build a product is too long and too expensive and too inefficient if you're outsourcing. Just moving a button, changing the label, to putting A/B testing, to experiment, to measure, to run a SQL query to just get some basic data. If that's got to go out, you've got to write requirements list, it's got to go out, you've got to communicate. It's highly inefficient. Having said that, I mean, you read a lot of stories where people do succeed without a technical co-founder. So that's just the pedigree I know, that the way I know that it's been done, and the way I've done it, is that I can sit there and iterate very quickly, and then eventually when you get to a certain point, you bring the team in. But, I think that's the better way of doing it. And I think it's really important to have a business guy on there. I mean, I think it's really important to build sales and marketing companies. I think you should have if you say to me you've got a technology company and you've got 10 people, I'd like you to say you've got 6 sales and marketing people and 4 technical people rather than 6 technical people and 4 marketing. Because I think you're thinking about sales and marketing. That's what you're building into your company, that's your DNA, and I think, when you see founders who are way too technical, way too product, and they try and build this perfect product, is they just don't fit. I'm the luckiest guy, because the first hire Adam and I made was this Colin who worked in the shared office we're at. His name is Colin Frost. It's a sales guy, and he wanted to come and said, I like what you guys are doing. We couldn't afford to pay him. We gave him a small salary and 5% of our company. And he used to just bash the phone out. Like, he used to just be on the phone every 2 seconds and try and sell this product that was really crap, rudimentary. It just didn't work. And when he got off the phone and they said no, that he would say, well, just don't get it yet. I'm not doing it well enough. But that was really important, because we had the voice of the customer in our ear very early. We could hear every rejection, we could understand why they didn't like it. And because I was programming, it's like, Cole, what were they saying when you said this? Why did you say this? Why didn't they buy? So it sounds like company.
Do you think there are too many startup founders that are scared to go out and sell, that don't see themselves as salespeople, but I suppose we're all salespeople, aren't we?
Well, I think when a founder is a salesperson, that's what they call a vendor's passion. The vendor's passion kicks in, and then we can kind of sell. But it's really important to realize, if you're not a salesperson, that you should bring salespeople. And that's why I say, focus on building a sales and marketing company. What happens when a founder tries to sell? They say, and founders are very disciplined, say, today I'm going to come in, I'm going to make 5 phone calls, which is great. And 4 will go to voicemail, and 1 you might have a conversation, and then you're going to say, tick, I did my sales. Now I'm going to go do X, Y, and Z. The difference between a salesperson is, first of all they do, all they think, when they get up, when they go to bed, is they think about sales. And the delta between those two is actually, it's hard to measure, but it's humongous. I'm really anti-founders being salespeople if they're not by DNA a salesperson. I just don't think you're not doing the right things for yourself.
And did you see yourself as a salesperson?
Well, I probably had vendor's passion.
Yeah.
But no, I did that second business. I realized that I was really crap. It didn't feel right. I don't like rejections. I think what I do is, I used to think what I did was really good, so I didn't like people not buying it. So I had to distance myself. I had to become more analytical. I had to take more of a macro view of things. I had to have a team that actually enjoyed that process, and I enjoyed a different process. With business catalysts, we went on to tens of thousands of paying customers, signed up a couple of thousand customers a month. I really enjoyed that, it was a different type of sale.
Yeah, cool. Did you read a lot through your career, and like business books? And if so, like there was one book you could read, and what was the kind of takeaway from it?
Yeah, I've read a bunch. Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day about one of the first books I read was the Andy Grove book, Only the Paranoid Survive. It's still one of my favorites. If anyone's read that book.
Is it Intel?
Yeah, Intel founding CEO. I blew it past recently. But that was a really good business book. That was one of the first ones I read. I've read a bunch of Seth Godin books, particularly when we couldn't figure out how to sell Business Catalyst. I don't know. Has anyone read Seth Godin's books, Purple Cow, and a bunch of others?
It's not enough.
Yeah, we just couldn't figure out how to sell online, at scale. And so we read that. I read Crossing the Chasm. Yeah, maybe another dozen books.
Yeah, cool. Do you miss the sourdough in San Francisco?
What's that?
The sourdough.
The sourdough with the
Yeah, like you head down Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
You know,
what's that stuff? What's the soup called again?
chowder.
Chowder. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Actually, the food in San Francisco is excellent.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You go to a crappy little taco place and it's excellent, and you go to a really expensive place, it's excellent. And the quality of food is just the bar is really high. I miss that.
Cool. Probably the last question. I don't know if Rainey asked, it was just kind of a cheeky question. And the question is, do you consider yourself a real estate entrepreneur or a tech entrepreneur?
That's a Rainey question.
Rumour has it you've made more from real estate, but I assume you see yourself as a tech entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I think deep down I'm a tech guy. My work and my business is real estate in San Francisco.
Fantastic. Well, look, it's awesome having you back in Australia. I know you've got involved with Startmate. I think you've given them some bucks and you've been pretty actively involved as a mentor there. So, we really appreciate you having you back in Australia. And I actually remember watching a show on the ABC Four Corners about the Aussie Mafia in Silicon Valley, and it was you and the guys from Switch Can and all that group having lunch one day. I've actually got a copy of that video. You probably never got to see it,
cool.
but I'll have to send it to you. But we really appreciate what you're doing and giving back to the community, because I think everyone wants to know. We all have those questions about whether we can cut it over in America, whether we should go over, whether it's the right thing to do. So to have someone that's actually been there and done it, we love it. So please join me everyone in giving Bardia a big thank you. A little birdie told me that you were practicing or broadening your palate for whiskey. So there's a little speaker's gift for you as well. So guys, thank you so much for coming. It was been really fun. There's still some drinks to go, so if you guys want to hang around, Buddy, you're going to hang around just a little bit, meet a few people, answer some questions. It's been great to have you. I wanted to just give you a quick update on the who we've got next. If this works, we'll see. So our next speaker is Mr. Steve Baxter. We're just locking in a date. I've spent a fair bit of time mentoring with Steve. He certainly tells it how it is. He's got a few favourite sayings. It'll be a really, really fun night. Some other speakers we've got coming up for the rest of the year. We've got Ben Sand, who's currently the entrepreneur in residence at Murray, but founded the augmented reality company Meta in Silicon Valley. Katrina Wallace from Flamingo. Martin Hosking from Redbubble, who was one of the co-founders of LookSmart. I'm really interested to hear that story, because I actually met Evan and Martin in Melbourne, and they were heading over to the US to take LookSmart over there, and they said, we don't know how it's going to go, we have enough money to get over there, if it fails, we probably don't have enough money to come back. Ended up with that NASDAQ listing, so I think that went okay for him. I think that was alright. Steen Anderson from Fifth Finger, he founded Fifth Finger. He was also product manager for, I think, was it Gmail or something, over for Google in the Valley, now back here working at Atlassian. And Mark Pesci, who runs the podcast called Twister, which is This Week in Startups Australia, and he's also the chair of the launch event, which is coming to Australia soon. So say hi to some people, introduce yourself, and come say hi to me if I can help you out, introduce anyone I will. And thanks so much for coming. We'll see you next time.